Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about are the smart responsive columns, or the responsive columns. The responsive columns consist of at least two pieces and sometimes three. It consists of a Carta column, a Carta column wrapper, and sometimes a reverse column. Now I'm going to demonstrate how you would create a three-column header using this system. So I'm going to drag this off here. And every set of columns starts with a column wrapper. So we're going to start by creating a column wrapper. And we're going to call this column wrapper, let's see, three-column header. And I'm actually going to give it an idea of header. Now what we're going to do is pick the configuration. Now you have more configurations with this because you can have two columns equally sized and then all the other versions of two columns that we've already talked about. You could have three columns equally sized, or you can have three columns that has, you know, the left column is 1/2 wide and the other two parts are 1/4 wide, or three columns where it's 1/4, 1/2, and 1/4, or three columns where it's 1/4, 1/4, and 1/2, or you can have four columns equally sized. So you have each of these choices to make for the wrapper. And we're going to say that this is going to be, well, I'm going to say 1/4, 1/2, 1/4. You can choose to remove the top and bottom padding if you wish. We're going to leave that alone. We're not going to create a hook. So we're just going to say the same. Three-column header. And now we need to create a column for each of those three columns. So we come down here and we say Carta column, add the box, and we'll just call this header column left. And it's not full width, of course. It is 1/4 of the width of the column wrapper. So what we set here has to match what we said about in the wrapper itself. We're not going to remove left and right padding, so we're just going to leave it just like it is. 1/4 of the width of the column wrapper. And then we're going to create another one. We create one for each column. Carta column. And we're going to call this one header column middle. And remember that was half the width. And then we're going to create our last one, Carta column. And of course we'll call it header column right. And it's only 1/4 width. Okay, so we'll shift drag the right in, the middle in, and the left in. Whoops, shift drag the left in. So we have our left, our middle, and our right. We're set up so that it's three columns, 1/4, 1/2, 1/4. This one was set up to be 1/4. This one was set up to be 1/2. This one was set up to be 1/4. So those settings here match the settings here. And then we're just going to drag that into the page. And, you know, now we can do just about anything. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a text box, which will be a header image. So we're going to add our text box, and we're going to call it header image. And it doesn't need an HTML wrapper. So I'm just going to drag that and drop it into the left. In the middle, I'm going to put the site title and tagline. And for that, I'm going to use the thesis site title and tagline. So drag that into there, and then site title and tagline, site tagline, drag that into there, and then I want the title above. Okay, and then on the right, I'm going to put a widget area. And we'll come down here to widgets. And I'm going to call it header widget area. I'm going to leave it alone entirely. Say OK to that. I'll drop that into place. Actually, instead of header, I'm going to call this header columns. Okay, we're going to save that template, come back over to the home page and see what we have. Okay, so we've got our text box here, we've got our site title here, and then we've got a widget area here. And so I'm going to come over and go to skin content. And actually, first I'm going to come over to pages. I have a sandbox page. I do have a sandbox page. And let's see. I'm just going to insert I don't want that image. Actually, that image would be perfect. Let's just go ahead and insert that image. I'm just going to copy that image, and no, I'm not. I'm going to delete that and insert it again. Okay, fine. I'll insert it from here. Add the media. From the media library, I'm going to add, no, not that one. Not that one either. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, I'll add this one, and I'm going to take I'll take the medium version of it, and I want it to link to a custom URL, and I'm going to have it link to our home page. Okay, so insert that into the page, and now I can just come along and copy that. Come over to the skin content and to our header image. Paste the header image there, disable the automatic p tags. Save those options. We'll refresh it. Now I've got an image and this, and obviously we could put a widget area in here. Now that's all fine and good, but what I want you to see is that this automatically scales the stuff so that it allows these things to stack and to scale the way you would expect them to in a responsive context. Okay, that is the takeaway from this, is that the smart responsive columns understands that these things are supposed to stack under each other, and automatically does so. So we've got our 3-column header here. We've got a standard 2-column header there. We've got a whole special 1-column header here. And then we've got the standard 2-column again. Okay, we're going to do a bunch of stuff with these smart widget columns as the day proceeds, but this is essentially how that works. Is you take a column wrapper and you tell it what the configuration, how big the columns are supposed to be, and what their relationship to each other is. And then you create a column for each of those columns and you say how big it's supposed to be. You arrange them properly inside that box, and then from that point on, all the styles and all the responsiveness automatically follows through. Okay.